If you are into CNC, this video is for you. We are going to take a trip out to Arizona to visit Cody, the owner of Cadence Manufacturing, who is the producer of the famous...
You're famous!
Jenny bit. This is going to be a great trip. We are going to tour the facility. We are going to look at the machine that creates the bits. We are going to sit down and have a chat with Cody and get him to answer some questions that I've had and some questions that's come from the community. Let's get to it. It's Hamilton. Hey, man.
Hey, Greg, what's up?
Literally just about to walk into Cody's shop.
Oh, nice. Yeah, tell him I said hey.
Will do, for sure.
Oh, also, I have something that we were talking about the other day. I think I've got it figured out.
That's awesome. You want to text me the info?
I'll shoot you a text in a few. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you so much. See you later.
No worries, man. All right, bye.
So this is the nickel tour of Cadence Manufacturing. It's a small shop. It's only about 1,000 square foot, but I got all my CNC woodworking stuff right here on the side. I got my Thunder laser over there, and then the big machine in the back, the Anka, what I'm grinding all my tools with. Originally I started with Shapeoko, and then from my original Shapeoko I went over to the Onefinity. This machine's a beast. I absolutely love it. This is where I do all my woodworking stuff. The idea behind all of it is I'll make new tools on the grinder, and then I'll come over here and I'll test different feeds and speeds. I'm going to put you to work on this guy. This is the CNC grinder.
This thing is
I can't really show you its full capabilities right now because Anka is working on some stuff on the background with the factory. But what we can do is I can have you run one manually. So
that's awesome. That'll be great.
Yeah, come to the shop and I'll put you to work.
Wanted to sit down and talk with him a little bit and answer some of you guys' questions that you've asked in the community, and maybe some that I had as well on CNC bit manufacturing, as well as some of the products you guys had asked about or even want. So appreciate you having me out here.
Yeah, of course. I'm stoked you guys came out. Came a long way.
It's been a fun trip. Looking forward to. He's going to be at Workbench Con if anybody is planning on going to that in Atlanta. Actually, just in a few weeks. So that's going to be really cool. Okay, so the first question I have, and this has actually been on my mind too, and several people have asked, we all know 8675309 is in relation to the song and Jenny, but where did that come from with you? How did that become a thing for you?
So a couple of years ago when this whole thing started, I worked in the aerospace and defense industry, and for years, everybody that I worked with, there was this ongoing like inside joke, and anytime somebody would ask for a certain part number or what are you working on, without fail somebody would always say, oh, it's 8675309. And so when I first started making my own tools all for personal use, when I did my first group buy, I had to give the tool a part number, so I gave it that part number as an inside joke because I thought it was funny and easy to remember. And then once the CNC community saw the part number, people just started calling the bit Jenny, and the name stuck. So the whole time, this has all been 100% like CNC grassroots, like maker made, and that's how the bit got named the Jenny. It was from you folks. So
the maker community actually named it.
Yeah, 100%.
That is so awesome.
And then the cool thing about that too is like every bit after the fact was requested from the community, and I would let the community submit names and then they would vote on the names. So every single tool that I've shared with the community, they've all been named from people within the CNC woodworking community. So there's the Jenny, the mini Jenny, the groovy Jenny, the downtown Jenny, the uptown Jenny. All of them have been submitted and then voted on. So that's kind of how all the tools got named.
That is awesome. And you're going to continue to do that?
Yeah, I have no intention to. It's too much fun. I mean,
that is really, really cool. Cool. Okay, so another question, and I know the answer to these, I think, because me and you have actually talked about this prior to coming out and do this, but a couple of people had the same question. I'm going to kind of lump these together because I think that you can probably answer both of these in the same. One is, do you have any plans or what are your thoughts about coming out with a surfacing bit and also a 3/4 inch bowl bit?
So those are great questions. Right now, I don't know exactly where I'm going to be in regards to doing those larger tools. Right now, the way that everything's set up, The largest tool that I'm able to manufacture with the equipment that I have is like 1/2 inch diameter. So there's a possibility I can make like a 3/4 inch bowl bit, but I would have to get like a 3/4 inch shank and then turn that down to have like a 1/2 inch shank for all of our, spindles.
Okay.
And then from there I can grind it on my machine. But I'm not fully tooled up for it yet, so it's something that I'll have to, work on and develop and see what the machine can actually handle. I think 3/4 inch is probably the max that I can grind. I know the biggest shank diameter I can hold is a 1/2 inch, so it's a possibility. I just don't know when.
Okay.
But there's several other tools that I'll probably release before then. In regards to like a surfacing bit. So surfacing bits are a little bit different, right? Usually it's like a high-speed steel body, and then they braze on the carbide tips, and then those tips get ground. That's how a lot of these tool manufacturers, they make it. I don't have that capability, but I work with other companies that do, and they're all here locally, like in Arizona.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's an option. I just don't know how soon I'll be able to do it, because I have a personal conviction of keeping all of my stuff like solid carbide. That's like my bull bit. It's 1/2 inch carbide that's turned down, so everything is perfectly balanced, perfectly ground. And when you start brazing on carbide tips, you kind of lose a little bit of that control, I think.
I can understand that.
So there's more quality control that would need to go into it, and outsourcing that type of work. There would just be a lot more involvement, and then when you're dealing with other people and having to source all that, I want to do as much as I can in-house first.
And that makes complete sense. Everybody, make sure you stick around to the end of the video, because we've got some cool things to announce as well, so I don't want you to miss out on that. I think you're going to like them. So this is a question I actually personally had myself.
Sure.
So from the start of you calling the manufacturer, ordering from the manufacturer of your blanks, to the time you ship me a bit, how long does that process typically take?
So it kind of depends. It kind of varies. I buy all of my carbide blanks. So these are carbide blanks that I buy that are already ground to size for the shank diameter. And what's nice about it is I have the overall length and the diameter is already to size. And it's chamfered on one end, so I can put it in my machine and then grind my tool. So that saves a lot of time, because it's already halfway done, essentially. The lead time on that, it could be anywhere between like 3 to 5 days, depending on how many I'm ordering, or if they even have it in stock. They stock it in California and in Texas. So the company I use is TechMet. They're awesome. They've always taken care of me. So the most, I don't know, I'd say from buying and sourcing the material, I'd say typically 3 days is how long it takes to get the material in. Once I get the material in, I gotta set up the machine, get everything dialed in, and then depending on the lot quantity, that'll also, add on a day or two, depending on how many I'm making. Typically, I try to do at least like 100 to 150 of each tool every time I set it up. So if I'm doing the compression routers, I'll try and do 150 of them, and then I'll switch gears to like the downshear bits, and I'll do like 150 of those, because the minimum quantity needed for the coating that I use, they want at least 300 at a time when I send it out for the coating.
So you can send them 2 tools at one time, and they can coat them all at the same time?
So it might take, depending on the material, what bits I'm working, and then depending on like their lead times and their schedules. If they're super busy, it could take up to a week just to get my tools coated. But a lot of times I try to show up with everything ready to go so I can give it to them. They'll process them in 2 to 3 days. Hopefully that's like the ideal time frame, and then I'll get it back. So from start to finish, I would say a realistic time frame is probably about 2 weeks. So that's from sourcing the material, getting it delivered, setting it up, running the tools, and then sending it out for coating. And then the back end of it, I make all my own labels. I do all my own tubes. Like, it's literally me and my wife. So, every once in a while she'll come in, she'll help. But there's also a lot of time into tubing the bits and just doing all the finish work so that it's ready to ship.
So that's really not that bad. So so understand, if you go on his website and you see that he's out of stock on something, it's probably not going to be but a couple 3 weeks, and he'll have full stock back in. So just keep that in mind. It does take time.
It does.
And we actually, while we were here, we're going to do this and show you the footage of it. But I actually made this one myself. This is my very own Downtown Jenny. I don't know what he was thinking, but he trusted me to operate this machine.
Now there's been an explosion.
He showed me how to do it. We didn't do the full automation and everything. We did it just so I could have control over the making of it. I did it manually, so I could kind of get the experience of doing it myself. So that was really cool.
You did good. He made a tool.
It worked. We'll see. I'm going to take it back, and I'm going to. I don't know. I probably don't need to use this one. I'm going to put this in a
save that one.
Save in a shadow box or something.
Well, we'll have to make you another one. Then.
We'll make another one. So
take it home with you.
All right. So now this one is also a question that I have that came from the community, and I think a lot of people are probably wondering, what's in store? What's next on the list for Jenny?
So that's a good question too. I've actually been working on several different tool design iterations that I've been working on. I have 2 or 3 of them that are already like programmed, ready to go. It's just a matter of time of, like I said kind of earlier, just getting tooled up and making sure that I could like execute it effectively. So right now I'm posed to be doing like an extended reach Jenny bit, which would be nice. I've worked on some O-flute bits that are programmed. It's just a matter of getting it on the machine, running it out, and then testing feeds and speeds and doing all that. So really, I kind of have the direction to go either way. I've also been working on, so there's a lot of people who make like cribbage boards, right?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those online.
So there's a tool that I was working on. It's called a drill mill. So basically what it is, it's an end mill that you can side cut with, but it's got like a 90-degree point on it, so you can also spot drill with it also.
Oh, nice.
So guys who are making cribbage boards, they can use that drill mill to go in there, drill all their holes, 1/8-inch diameter holes for cribbage boards. But with it having a 90-degree chamfer on it, they can use that to chamfer all the holes or the outside of their boards too. So it's kind of a multi-purpose tool.
And you could run all at once too, save you a lot of time.
Yeah, so you can use it, you can drill all your holes, and you can come back and chamfer all the holes if you have any chip out, that kind of stuff. So I've worked on an 1/8-inch, a 1/4-inch drill mill. I worked on the O-flute tools, those 1/4-inch and 1/8-inch, and then like the extended reach Jenny bit. But what I'm going to be doing next, I really don't know yet. I mean, really it kind of depends on what the community wants. So let me know. Let me know what you want first, and I'll try to make that a priority. Oh, the tapered ball nose you were asking about.
Yeah, so I've been bugging him about a tapered ball nose. I use a 6.2-degree tapered ball nose typically when I do inlays. So I've been bugging him about that too. So
yeah, so who knows? Maybe you can do the tapered ball nose next, or the O-flutes. It just kind of depends. But
hey, leave a comment below what your opinion is, what you'd like to see. I mean, he's going to come back and look at these comments, I'm quite sure, to see what people had to say.
And if I miss it, I'm sure he'll.
Oh, I'll definitely let him know. So. Okay, so let's go back to the first question, sorta. We asked where Jenny came from, but I'm sure some people are wondering, how in the world did Cody ever get into the thought of manufacturing CNC bits?
Yeah, so honestly, it's been a really neat journey, and I think the only way that I can really describe it is like it's been a God thing from the very beginning, because So I worked in aerospace and defense like my entire adult career. I was a quality engineer. I started off when I was in high school. I took the entire welding program, and by the time I graduated high school, I had finished the welding program at Yavapai College, and I landed a job as an aerospace welder at like 17 years old. So I've been in the industry for a long time, and welding, machining, manufacturing. And then as I kind of progressed in my career, I became a quality engineer. And the company that I used to work at, we were running big 5-axis CNC machines. We were doing a lot of defense work. And a lot of that tooling, I mean, we were holding like really tight tolerances, and we were working with, pretty exotic materials. And so we had to design a lot of our own custom tooling for the types of, jobs that we were running.
And crazy precision.
So it was, just a lot of custom tool geometry, and so so I already kind of had my foot in the door when it came to doing tool development and geometry development for cutting tools, because I was doing it all the time at work. And so I was just like everybody else. I had a 2-car garage, and I had, a Onefinity, I had a Thunder Laser, a Shapeoko, and I was just kind of doing my own thing as a side hustle, doing woodworking. And one of the jobs specifically I was working on, like I hate sanding with a passion, right?
Don't we all?
and I was using some of the compression bits from other bit manufacturer, and so after I sat down and I started developing my own tool geometry, just to manage like the rigidity issues I was having on my belt-driven machines. So I started working on it, and then I was talking with other people in the community, and other people were like, hey, it'd be really cool if you were working on a compression bit, and if you change like this, and so I was making stuff for my own personal use to manage the rigidity issues. I was getting feedback from other people in the Facebook groups on, what they wish they could see, and so I just went and did it. I just started developing my own tools, and the very first tool was the Jenny bit with the short upcut, and it worked awesome on my hobby grade machine because it allowed me to get the benefits of a compression router without overtaxing my machine from the rigidity side.
That's awesome.
And it worked really, really well. And then when I started sharing that with people on the Facebook groups, that's when they're like, oh man, that's awesome, I want to try it. And I hosted one group buy, and then it started, that's how it all started, is just me and my 2-car garage trying to manage rigidity issues so I didn't have to do as much sanding on whiskey barrel wood.
That is awesome.
That's how it all started. That's literally the genesis of it. And then the reason why I think it's like a God thing. So working in manufacturing, like there's a lot that goes into like the design, the development, the testing of it, being able to source it, manufacture it, and then getting it into the hands of consumers. Like that takes a really, really long time. Well, every single time I developed a tool, like everything was already like in place, and it was easy to go to the next step. So I literally, I've been doing this for what, 2.5 years now, since I started the very first Jenny bit, and I'm up to 13 different tools that I've developed, tested, had the community test, and then gone into manufacturing and then sharing it with all of you guys. And
that's a lot.
From a manufacturing standpoint, like that's almost unheard of. To literally go from an idea, a thought, a concept, to having a workable like product, and then into the hands of consumers, like takes forever. And every single step of the way, I just feel like God opened this door, and then I was able to go through it, and then this door was open, and it's like it was just like one after another. And then now 2.5 years, my wife and I, we went all in, quit my full-time job, bought my own equipment, and now we're doing this full-time, and I absolutely love it. It's scary.
I can imagine it's scary, but it's great. And I know me and all the people watching that currently use your bits. If you don't, make sure you get on over to the website. I'm definitely going to leave a link in the description. I'm going to leave you a code in the description so you can get some money off if you order using my code. And I'll go ahead and tell them. So one thing we've been thinking about doing, and we are going to do it, I'll have some details to come later at the end of this video, but we are going to do a kit. We've got the kit for Hamilton and CNC With Me, so I want to invite everybody over there and come join us on CNC With Me. It is a great community that Hamilton has come up with. We have a lot of fun. We make all kinds of stuff over there. We share projects. It's just a really good place to be, and a really good community of just other makers that you can talk to and bounce stuff off of. So I'm going to leave a link to that, and I'm going to have some more information as well on that. That's what Hamilton and me were talking about at the beginning of this video. I'll have all that information as soon as he gets it to me, and it's going to be cool. So. What we're going to do is, some of you know, if you've watched this channel for any length of time, if you haven't, then this is one thing that I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing deep inlays with cutting boards and such. So, and I also do a lot of epoxy inlays too, but One thing I do a little different is I use a tapered ball nose as opposed to the traditional V-groove bits for doing my inlays. A few different reasons. I won't go into details now, but I talked to Cody about, hey, can we come up with a kit, a beginner kit for people who want to do inlays? Yeah. So we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to group together, and all the information will be in the description below and at the end of this video. We're going to group together the tapered ball nose bit, and the Slim Jenny, the 1/8 inch Slim Jenny, and the Downtown Jenny.
The one you made.
Yeah, the one I made. That's all going to be grouped into a package, and you'll get a discounted price, as well as we'll have a code you can also use for that to get an additional price off for buying the bundle. I think that's really cool. So if you're into that, I'm going to try to make some videos in the future of kind of step-by-step going over my process, because my process is a little different than, I would say, traditional processes of making inlays, but definitely didn't invent it by any means. It's just mine's a little different. So, but yeah, that's cool. I'll have all that information in the description. I'll have links to everything in the description as well. And so what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to roll you some footage of where we actually made this a little while ago, where I made it. I take the credit. I got to do it. So let's jump into that. That was an amazing trip. I had such a good time out there talking with Cody, learning how all of that worked. And if you stuck around this far, I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you'll get notified anytime we upload any content. We also have a channel membership. I'd love for you to join. We do extra stuff over there, some behind the scenes and some behind the scenes giveaways. So come on, join us if you're interested. So a couple of things here at the end of the video that I wanted you to know is what me and Hamilton were talking about at the beginning of the video during that phone conversation is the community that he's developed called CMC With Me. I mentioned it in the video. It is a community where we just hang out. We do a lot of challenges. We have some podcasts. We have files that we actually share. It is just a really good time, and you can't beat the price. The price is good, but Hamilton has given me a code for you. If you want to come join, you will get 15% off your membership if you use the code STL. That's it, just 3 letters, STL. Come on over. We have a lot of stuff going on. You can purchase his bit set. It is a 3-bit set. I'll leave a link to it in the description as well. Also, the bit set that me and Cody mentioned in the interview that we're coming out with for what I do and the inlays. I'll also leave that in the description below. Simply go to Cody's website and pick either one of those bit sets or both and enter the code STL Woodworking and you will get 10% off of your order there. I hope to see everybody over at CNC With Me. I hope you stuck it out this far, and I really appreciate the support, and we'll catch you in the next video.